Are you looking for a jambalaya so simple you don't even need a knife and cutting board? This no chop freezer jambalaya is gonna be right up your alley. Let's do it right now. Hey everybody, this is Dylan. You know I'm all about helping you make fast, simple, delicious, plant-based recipes that allow you to get in and out of the kitchen as quickly as possible. Because the best way to adhere to a healthy diet is to make it so easy that you don't even have to think about it. We won't even need this cutting board. It's really just a security blanket for me at this point because it's so rare to do a video without it. Cozy up to my cutting board even if we don't need it. The other great thing about this jambalaya is that we are just throwing everything into this monster Dutch oven or any big soup pot, whatever, and we're just gonna bring it up to a boil, let it simmer, and we're done. We don't need to saute anything. We don't need all the extra chefy frills and thrills. This is a simple recipe. We're just gonna throw everything in and rock and roll. As you can imagine, there are probably infinite ways of setting up this jambalaya. We're gonna use all these different frozen items. Today I'm gonna use 1 bag of chopped onion and 1 bag of green bell pepper, which you can usually find at just about any supermarket. These are like 10 or 12 ounce bags. It doesn't matter. And of course, if you prefer to use fresh, it's just as tasty fresh. You could chop if you want to, no big deal. A bag of chopped onion is about 1 onion, and a bag of chopped bell pepper is about 1 bell pepper. Another thing I like to use is this really cool seasoning blend, which I found at Walmart. So it has celery, onion, red bell pepper, and it also has some parsley flakes, which whatever. Not everybody, in fact, I would say most people watching our channel aren't in this to become chefs. We're here to just get the food in the belly and get on with our lives. And so that's why I love these really simple one-step, one-pot freezer meals. So you got the bell pepper and the onion we talked about. I love frozen cut okra. A lot of people are afraid of okra because it can be slimy, but I have found that the frozen version like this, that does not happen. It just adds a really nice texture to the stew and it's great. Here is a bag of frozen mixed mushrooms. They're really good in this too. Not everybody puts mushrooms in their jambalaya, so it's completely up to you. You could put a frozen bag of artichoke hearts in that we love from Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. You could do anything. We're also gonna use a couple bags worth of frozen rice. This is a brown rice, and this one's like the brown rice medley. I think we buy these at Trader Joe's usually, but you can get them at a lot of different stores. You can definitely make your rice in a big monster batch and then freeze it in 10 or 12 ounce portions. That would be a great way to save time because obviously rice takes more time than all the other simple grains like quinoa or lentils to cook up on the fly. Let's throw these into the pot. I'm just throwing everything in. It doesn't matter the order, it doesn't matter anything. Just get it in the pot. Reebs, don't make fun of my cutting board when we're not even chopping. I like having it here. Look, I can place things upon it and I just feel better. We got the rice in the pot. There go the onions. This is gonna be a big pot of chili. There goes that okra. Here's some bell pepper in the pot. And then we got the mushrooms. Here's the mixed mushrooms. Ooh, those look nice. So you can see that this is gonna make a big pot. I love to just put a pot like this on early in the day, let it get up to a simmer, and then I'll just sip off of it all day long, grab a bowl here, do some work. I know a lot of you work from home, so this is probably the perfect thing to just have on the stove and eat all day long. Next up, we've got 2 regular sized cans of diced tomatoes. Try to find the no salt added because they put a lot of salt in tomatoes and canned beans and whatnot. Throw those into the pot. And next I've got 2 cans of kidney beans that we've just rinsed and drained. Again, no salt added is the way to go. Throw them in the pot and we are getting close, y'all. You could use any bean you want, indeed. You could do a pinto, you could do a black bean. You don't even have to call this jambalaya. It's just veggie stew. You can do anything. Now we got some tomato paste. We're gonna throw in like, I don't know, half the can. You could use the whole can, it's probably fine because no one likes having extra tomato paste in the fridge. Here we have some minced garlic. You could use garlic powder if you don't wanna use the minced garlic and make it even easier, but I mean, it's in the jar, ready to go. It's the cheater garlic from Costco. And I just love that stuff. And the last thing we need in this big pot is some more flavoring, some of those Cajun-y jambalaya herbs and spices. And you're in luck because we've got one right here. This is the Well Your World brand new Cajun mix called Voodoo. We had a lot of requests for a Cajun or a Creole style seasoning blend, and this one is really good. No added salt, oil, sugar, and we actually use a little bit of our own date powder to flavor this, to give it a little bit of sweetness. So it is a nice, sweet, and savory blend of Cajun spices. But if you don't have access to this or you don't want to buy it, then you can just use whatever your favorite Cajun blend is. I'm gonna throw in a good 2-3 tablespoons worth. I just take the lid off and boom, throw it in my hand and dump it in like that. I'll do that like 2 times. And it's that simple. I've got everything on the stove. I'm gonna take and add some veggie stock. I've added 2 cups of veggie stock to this. If you want it thicker, all these veggies, as they start to cook and warm up, they're gonna give off a lot of liquid. So don't add too much all up front because you may have more liquid in there than you want when it's all said and done. So let's throw a couple cups in here and we'll get stirring this thing and bring it up to a boil. Okay, so that's about half the jug in there, and now just stir it all up and let this thing just start to melt, and you'll see it'll be watery. And then if you wanted to just walk away now, you could cover this thing up, put it on medium, and let it heat up slowly so you don't have to babysit so much. Just a little tip, you know what I mean? See, it doesn't look like very much juice is in there, but trust me, there's gonna be a lot more. In my experience, the best way to set yourself up for a long-term plant-based diet is to make it just so easy that you don't have to think about anything. We have to like make all of our own food for ourselves. So how are we gonna stick with that? If it requires us to go into the kitchen 3 times a day to cook, I think most people are gonna fall off. So that's why these kinds of meals, and really all the simple recipes on our YouTube channel, are so helpful because they take the brain out of it. Look at this, it's already getting very liquidy. Check it out. Just keep it stirring and everything's just gonna melt together. I can already smell it, it's so good. Let's cover it up, it's at a boil. We'll bring the heat down to like a medium low, and then I'll just cover it for 15-20 minutes just to get all the veggies cooked up, and then we can eat it. Can't wait to taste this thing. I wonder if it's gonna be hot. Oh, it's been about 15-20 minutes and we are jambalaya'd. Look how much liquid is in there. We added about 2 cups of stock and you can now see the consistency. It's nice, stewy. It's really perfect. I'm going with the 2 cups. Thanks, Reebs.
You're welcome.
That was a Reeb's suggestion. Y'all, I had a change of heart. Last time I made this, I thought, oh, it would be so good to drop in some fresh kale chopped up. So I am gonna use the cutting board after all. What do you think of that? I got a big, 1 whole bunch of kale here. I'm just going to grab it, chop it, and we're gonna throw it in the pot. This stuff wilts in like 2 seconds in your stew. So you don't need to do it until the very end, but also it doesn't matter. And then if you don't wanna use fresh, I do love fresh greens, but I also love the frozen stuff. So if you wanted, you could just take and throw a bag of frozen chopped kale, spinach, whatever, in at the beginning, just like when we did everything else when we started this dish. All right, let's throw this in the pot. Now, how am I gonna get the lid off? There we go, I've got help here, a sous chef. Put that lid back on there. Y'all, I can be a little bit bad at getting my greens in the form of a salad, as you've probably heard me say before. So this is my favorite way to get greens into the belly. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So stir this in and it'll wilt in just a matter of a few seconds and we'll be ready to taste this thing. We could have put a lot more kale than this because it just shrinks down so much so fast. So yeah, I would do twice what I did, but I don't have enough. I didn't buy enough. Oh, look at how beautiful that looks. Can't wait to taste it. This thing looks so good. It is hot and so good. You would never know that these are frozen veggies. I love the okra, the bell pepper, and the onion. You just can't tell the difference. It's so much time savings, so worth it, and so delicious. Make this stew. And that voodoo spice blend is so good, so good. You can taste just a little bit of sweetness, which goes perfectly with the tomatoes. You're gonna love it, so I hope you try it out right away. Remember, the easiest way to adhere to a plant-based diet forever and ever is to make it so easy that you don't even have to think, and these no-chop meals are the way to go. So try it out. Check out more of our no-chop videos right here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.